And you have
Genius, a plant that's related to a bulb.
yes. And so I'm sure many of you have, cooked with garlic. And not only did I change its smell, its look, and its taste, but you enhance it. These are powerful. They have great medicinal properties. Some have shown the development of cancer. Scientists from the First Hospital of China Medical University, they wanted to understand whether consuming large amounts of these allium vegetables would prevent people from developing colorectal cancer, which is dreadful, a dreadful disease. And they published their results in the Asia Pacific Journal of Clinical Oncology. Now, they didn't include skin cancers. Not counting skin cancers, colorectal cancer, also called bowel cancer, colorectal cancer is now the third most common cancer diagnosed in the United States for both men and women. She was very public about it. She tried traditional as well as alternative.
She was flying through different countries.
Yes. Remember that? They had film of her in a room, and they were administering some treatment. I don't know what country that was in. And she tried hard, man. She fought a courageous battle. Horrible. Cancer is one of nature's terrible, awful mistakes. It truly is. We are vulnerable to it. It is a mistake. Apparently we didn't natural selection didn't serve us well when it comes to our ability to fight this disease.
You think they'll come up with a cure in your lifetime or my lifetime? Or?
No, I don't. It won't happen in the next, you have a lot of your own immune system to do the job because it failed in the first place.
Right.
Right. And that's probably one of the main mechanisms of action for stress. Stress makes you immune suppressed. And I am convinced now that when I got sick, I was under tremendous stress for at least 6 months, a year. I mean, it was intense. And then bang, out of the blue. But then I got sick. I got cancer. I still believe that. My immune system, I was totally vulnerable. Your body is killing cancer cells every day. You know that, right? Probably one of the most deleterious effects of stress. It compromises the immune system and sets you up. You're unprotected. You're unprotected. You're just a sitting target. And so apparently these scientists believe that a diet is certainly a risk factor for these cancers, as consuming high levels of red processed meat. The luncheon meats, those salamis and all that stuff. I've talked about that on the show. That's just one example. Now, there are foods that protect garlic and leeks and shallots. These are wonderful, wonderful foods. Should you, peeling the onion and all that kind of business. We'll get into that. You may have a thought or two. We talk about garlic on the show a lot. And when Dr. Ingram was on, it's always about, these herbs and spices. Oil of oregano, right? These are gifts of nature. We should use them. There's a lot going on. Then there's a herb called the holy herb. Do you know what herb that is? Well, I'll tell you about that herb and some new reporting on that. You are listening to Let's Talk Nutrition, where the point of view is that health, wellness, and well-being begin and end on the road of nutrition, diet, and nutrition. Sooner or later, you're going to end up there. And you got to be there. The body cannot heal itself without proper nutrition. It just can't do it. We'll be back. coast to coast and globally. And welcome to the show. Great to be with you. Thanks for stopping by, wherever and however you may be listening or watching the show, and whatever you may be doing. We're real happy to be with you. Next week, be headed out. We'll be around, but going to California, as far as I know. That's what they tell me. Is that where I'm going?
Yes, you are.
Okay. And we're going to attend the Expo West Natural, as opposed to Unnatural Products Trade Show. It's probably the world's largest trade show. And people come from companies, I don't know, 15, 20,000 companies there. I don't know. 100,000 people maybe. 80 to 100,000. It's massive. We'll see what's going on. Try to find out what's new and who's gone. Companies that we saw last year, they won't be there this year. They come and they go. That's why you have to be very discriminating when you're buying natural foods, natural products. Who's that company? They established. If you didn't catch on, I got a little bit of a theme going here today. And plants and their potential to protect you. How about that alliteration? Plants' potential to protect you. That's what we're talking about. And I have probably a couple of things you never heard of. And if you have, that means you're really in the game. We'll see. And so that's what we're focusing on. Plants and their potential to protect you from disease. And they help heal as well. The power is amazing. Their power to heal. When you compare what we're consuming, just in our own country, this highly processed food diet that people are eating, compared to plants, it's not even close. Not even close. One's diseasing us, and one's trying to undo what the other foods are doing. Some people catch on and get it, others do not. Food can heal and food can kill. And we know that. That sounds obvious, but it's just a friendly reminder. No guests today, so the lines are wide open. You can call. You can talk about I don't care what you want to talk about. Green cheese on the moon, whatever. Okay with me.
I think it's funny. 877-897-8255. That's 877-897-TALK. You were talking about cheese, Doc, right?
Yeah.
And, there's been studies that says cheese is as addictive as cocaine.
Could be. I like cheese, but, got to watch. High in fat, it's got to watch. And some people say eating cheese is not a good idea. It's dairy completely. Some people, whole food, plant-based diet, no meat, no dairy. That would include cheese. I like feta myself.
Yeah, I do.
Put it on a salad.
Yeah, on a Greek salad.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful. I like it, but just saying.
What are some top foods you should stay away from?
Yeah, how many hours we got?
I mean, I'm 45 years old. What is, as a 45-year-old man?
Meat for you?
Yeah.
For you, I would tell you right out, you need to avoid a unhealthy high-fat diet. If I were you, I would stay away from the red meat, processed meats in particular. Mm-hmm. If you're going to eat meat, I would turn more toward the fish, the smaller fish, sardines, anchovies. I would stay away from tuna and the bigger fish. And for you, these processed foods, you need to shift to a whole food, plant-based diet, no meat, no dairy for now. That's what I would tell you to do. That's what I've been telling you to do for 2 years.
I stayed away from the red meat, and once in a while I'll have
You told me
chicken.
when you stopped eating a lot of meat, you felt better right away.
Did, yes. Because I was eating red meat every day.
You look healthier now than you did 2 years ago when you walked in the store. I remember the first day I walked in here and you were sitting in that chair over there. And I said, who the hell is that? Who is that guy?
Breathing like a hippo.
You were 315 pounds.
Yeah, 318.
318. And I said, that boy's going to have a heart attack. Going to have a heart attack. And we did his blood pressure the other day. It's too high. You need to shift. You need to make that shift. High blood pressure is a killer, damaging the arteries, endothelium. But there's so many foods to the word. When I say highly processed, I'm talking about these foods that have been clear cut of their nutrients, and then and the nutrients replaced with chemicals, the names of which you cannot even pronounce. And these foods are so, and the foods, the processed foods that are jacked with salt, sugar, and fat, unhealthy fat. Fat in and of itself is not a bad thing. The saturated fats from animals and dairy can be, in large quantities, can be very dangerous. But you need fat in the diet. You need those good fats, those polyunsaturated, monounsaturated fats. And so, the processed food diet that we're consuming in our culture is killing people slowly, quietly, and sometimes totally out of their awareness. They may be convenient and they may be fast, but they will conveniently and rapidly put you into ill health. It's just a matter of time. This is not breaking news. I'm just telling you. There are consequences. Food has consequences. Here's how to connect and contact, and you may have a thought or two. Please call and share it.
877-897-8255. That's 877-897-TALK. Dr. Garko's personal email is drgarko@letstalknutrition.com. Follow us, like us, and share us on Facebook at Let's Talk Nutrition, on the Instagram at Let's Talk Nutrition, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel where you get a notification every time we go live at Let's Talk Nutrition on YouTube.
Plants and their potential to protect you. I was talking about colorectal cancer, insidious disease, horrible disease. And there's this study talking about onions and garlic. These are of the allium category of vegetables. Garlic, onions, chives, shallots, in that class. And the study was published in the Asia Pacific Journal of Clinical Oncology. And scientists have investigated whether allium-based vegetables can reduce bowel cancer. When I say bowel cancer, I mean colorectal cancer. Although some have identified a significant effect, others have found either a small interaction or none at all. So the results are mixed. That's always problematic. Now, this latest study, the researchers believe that variation in the results of these previous studies is partly due to how data were collected. It's always about that. What was the nature of the sample? How were those data collected? And then how did you manipulate the data? Some of these studies combined all allium vegetables into one group. Others did not include data from some less common types of allium vegetables. So some of these earlier studies have been problematic. So this new set of researchers, if you will, set out to try to do something a little bit more methodologically sound. When I come back, I'm going to tell you what they found about onions and garlic. These are not exotic. You can find them everywhere. We'll be right back. LTN. Today's a little primer on allium vegetables. I haven't talked about them as a group that much, and I need to do that. I have isolated them from time to time. For example, we talk a lot about garlic on this show, in specific, Kyolic aged garlic extract. That product, I'm telling you that's a must. If it's one of those that you can take every day and should. Kyolic aged garlic extract. Now, allium, A-L-L-I-U-M, allium vegetables. Thousands of years they have had their use in cultures. The allium genus includes about, maybe 500 different species of plant. Commonly used allium vegetables, you're familiar with these. Garlic, onion, leeks, chives, scallions, shallots. They're used all over the world. And you'll find them in all these wonderful foods, all these delicacies. Anthony Bourdain, you would hear him talk about these foods all the time. I mentioned yesterday how much I enjoyed him, how much I learned from him. Missed that guy. Took his life. Wow. These allium vegetables as I said, have been used in cultures for millennia. In traditional medical practice, no less, to treat different diseases, cardiovascular disease. They even used it in Egypt to mummify. Yeah, yes, can't make it up. They have their applications as antimicrobial, antithrombotic, anti-tumor, hypolipidemic, anti-arthritic, not hypoglycemic, as hypoglycemic agents. The research has focused recently on their anti-carcinogenic properties of allium, these allium vegetables. The allele sulfides and flavonoids, like particularly quercetin, are an abundance, for example, in these vegetables. And epidemiological studies have revealed that when people consume allium, it's associated with a reduced risk of different types of cancers. This is the theme for today: is the power and the potential of plants, in particular allium-based vegetables. Organosulfur compounds are found in allium vegetables. It's the sulfur. The sulfur is one of the key elements responsible for the beneficial properties of these herbs. And they are cancer preventative. Allium vegetables are that. And it goes back to the sulfur, the organosulfur compounds. These include inhibition of mutagenesis, modulation of enzyme activities, inhibition of DNA adduct formation, free radical scavenging, effects on cell proliferation and tumor growth. I could go on and on. That all translates into these are good for you. I'm a fan. I got more I'm going to tell you. We're going to go to Jenkintown, Pennsylvania right now. And Michael lives in Jenkintown. Michael, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Dr. Garko, and thank you for taking my call.
Of course.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
And thank you for asking good, and I figure you're going to be better.
Last time you called me, you were having some issues with your prostate, and you were going to the doctor?
Yes.
And?
Well.
Not good?
Not good.
Did they tell you have cancer?
Yes, it's got cancer, and...
what are they going to do?
Only what he wanted to do, that's operation, chemo, and radiation.
Chemo and radiation,
I don't want it.
And they're going to remove the prostate?
Yeah, that's what he
They're
said.
They're going to do a prostectomy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you started treatment?
Yeah, give me this hormonal therapy.
Hormone therapy. Okay.
Yeah, hormone therapy.
Well, I wish you good luck, Michael.
Thank you very much.
I didn't forget when you called. I remembered.
Thank you so much.
So you didn't call to talk about that. I'm sorry I imposed on you like that. I'm concerned about you, and I just had to ask.
Thank you. I got questions yesterday's show. I listened.
Oh yes, yesterday when I was talking about why women live longer than men.
Yes, and I was thinking about this. why give it this 5 years extra for the woman?
Yeah.
And we eat same food, drink same water, breathe same air. Why women's got 5 years more?
They breathe the same they breathe the same air, they drink the same water, and eat the same food. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what
and they live longer. I talked about that yesterday, and one of the things that happens with men, Michael, and this is there's different explanations. There are different hypotheses. And one biological hypothesis is that testosterone that is abundant in men causes men to take greater risks and engage in more dangerous behavior that can kill them. And that's one reason. Another reason is with respect to testosterone, as good as it is for men, and it's vital that they have it, can also not serve men very well and can contribute to all sorts of disorders and conditions, maybe disease for that matter. So that's one reason. Don't hang up, hang on, and I'll tell you more when we come back. And so why do women live longer than men? It's a question I explored yesterday to sort of instruct us on what we learned from that and how we can, both men and women, take the lessons here. Michael lives in Jenkintown. He's on the line. He called and he wanted to know. He said, men and women breathe the same air, they drink the same water, and eat the same food. Why are women living longer? Well, the one answer, there's several answers, Michael. As I was saying, men tend to engage in risky behavior. There's a number of studies. They did some research at Duke University, for example, and they found that men would invariably, in this study, choose risky behavior that had high levels of testosterone, which is kind of interesting. Men also, Michael, tend to drink more and tend to smoke more than women. So their lifestyle is compared to women is not as healthy. Is this making sense so far to you?
Yes, Dr. Garko.
Okay.
And,
go ahead.
Can I tell you what I think?
What do you think?
From yesterday, I was thinking, what could be. I'm not doctor, I'm mechanic. And I think that was blood.
You think it's the blood?
Yes.
What do you mean?
See, that's a woman every month has got.
I see. Menstruation.
And losing blood.
Okay.
So this extra iron is not good either.
Okay.
And to remove that iron, that's only through the blood.
Well, you say that, and there is some medical evidence, some studies to support that high levels of iron don't serve men very well, and that menstruation, as it occurs in women here, of course, serves them well for many different purposes. There are some hypotheses about that. I don't think that those, though, account for most of the variance as to why women live longer. Hormones are involved, and testosterone, especially with men. It turns out that estrogen is very protective in women up to a point. In certain kinds of estrogens, estradiol, which is the more virulent kind of estrogen, stronger of estrogen, can be deleterious. But estrogen tends to be protective for women. So hormonally, endocrinology, in endocrinology, it seems to play a role as well. So it's diet, lifestyle. Our biology is different than women. They just seem to do better generally, and almost. I think there are exceptions, but the dominant pattern is when you look at the average life expectancy statistics, all the different countries, you're hard pressed to find where men live longer than women. They just tend not to, for some of the reasons that I pointed out. I want to wish you good luck in your battle. I don't know what you're going to do and how you intend to go about it, but whatever you do, I hope that you fare well and you do well, Michael.
I appreciate it, and I thank you so much.
Oh, I thank you.
And when I finish it, I'll let you know.
All right. You call and tell me, okay? Don't forget to do that. I would love to hear from you.
No, I don't forget. I was with you every day from 9 to 11.
Oh.
And I will do this.
Oh, Michael.
I'm thinking that so I started to give it blood.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how many times it's good to give it. It's all right once in a month to give it blood.
Yeah, you won't be able to do that now, though. They're not going to. You can't do it now. They won't allow you to. Yeah, I think giving blood is good, Michael. Yes. Yeah, it is a good idea.
And one more thing, it's for a longer life. I don't know, did you hear about this doctor? One doctor from Arizona. It's in his laboratory with the mice. 2 days in a week, fasting.
Yeah,
give it mice twice longer life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are I have some friends that live in the southwestern part of the U.S. in Arizona. There's I don't know what they put in the water there, but this seems to people a lot of anti-aging medicine is practiced in Arizona and throughout the Southwest for some reason. The warmer climate seems to draw those people there, also in Florida. And there's a lot of experimental work being done in anti-aging and trying to prolong life. Some of that work is legitimate, some of it's hocus pocus. But you always have to use your critical thinking skills and have your critical mind in play when you're looking at that research, because some of it's nonsense, some of it's real. So you're a curious man. You're inquisitive, and that's a good thing, Michael. And you stay strong and stay positive, and I wish you the best. And you keep me informed as to how you're doing. Okay?
Yes, I will. Thank you
All
so
right,
much
Michael.
for your time and for everything you're doing for us.
Michael, it's a privilege to talk to you. Thank you. I need to thank you. You take care of yourself. We'll catch you the next time. I remember when he first called in, it was a good while ago, several years ago, and I saw Jenkintown. I had to ask Stephen. I always ask him, where is that? And he whispered in my ear, it's near Philly. And I remember Michael, when he first came on to the show, he's more open now because you build a relationship with people in the audience. And he's more open, he talks, and he disclosed that he had prostate cancer. So this is what happens on a show like this, and this is a show about life. That's that man's life. And as I keep telling you, and I believe it 100% with my whole mind and heart and body and soul, we're all in this together. And when I hear somebody such as Michael call into the show and share that, it just reminds me of why we're here doing this show, and why it's so important to do it the right way and to give you the best information I can get, the best science I can find, so that you can do better for yourself as well as myself. Here's how to connect.
877-897-8255. That's 877-897-TALK. Dr. Garko's personal email is drgarko@letstalknutrition.com. Like us, share us on Facebook at Let's Talk Nutrition, on the Instagram at Let's Talk Nutrition, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, please, at Let's Talk Nutrition.
I want to say real quick, I've probably had about as many conversations with Mike off the air as you've had on the air with him.
I know.
There's been many times where he's called just to ask a question, and I kind of fill in for him. Sometimes I think we, as broadcasters, forget that we are part of people's lives as much as they are for us.
For
And
the show.
it's
As much as they are part of the show,
Yeah.
we're much as part of their life. You're right, Stephen. You're right, man. We'll be back.
Want to get at the
The theme has been the power of plants to protect. And in particular, I focus today on allium vegetables. Which of the following would not be in the allium genus, period? In other words, which one of these is not considered an allium type of vegetable? Okay. A, garlic. B, onions. C, carrots. Or D, chives. Which one of those is not an allium vegetable? Garlic, onions, carrots, or chives? Which one? Here's the number.
877-897-8255. 877-897-TALK.
If you have the right answer, you'll win a $25 supplement gift card. Let's go to St. Petersburg, Florida. Carl, welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. Thanks.
I want to know, you say there's the three macronutrients or water, proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. I was wondering if water is either a micronutrient or possibly a combination of macro.
No, it's not. It's unto itself. The micronutrients generally are vitamins and minerals. That's what they consider. That's what's thrown into that category. Water is essential to life. 60% of the body is constituted of water. By the way, about 60% of the planet is water too. Kind of interesting. Water does not fall into those two categories. It's into a category unto itself. And then you have phytonutrients, like the organosulfur compounds that I'm talking about, like you find in the allium vegetables. But the protein and the protein, carbohydrate, and fat are macronutrients. Vitamins and minerals are micronutrients. And then you have other kinds of nutrient categories in the phytonutrients, for example, right? Then sometimes they'll break it out. You talk about herbs, like we're doing today, herbs and spices and so on. It does get a bit confusing. Water's unto itself. It's in its own place, if you will. It's one of the essential. You can consider it a nutrient, I suppose, for life. Without it, we die, right? So, yeah, it does get a little confusing. What do you eat a lot? What kind of diet are you on? I'm just curious.
Well, it's the whole plant.
Oh, you eat a whole food plant-based diet?
Yes, and I've been trying to eat mostly all of the whole grain diet.
That's good.
And I do no fats. I've tried a couple occasionally olive oil in a salad, but other than that, no oils. And I just wanted to, if I don't know if it counts that I believe that the allium with carrots doesn't fit in that category, but I don't know if I should call in again for that.
Yeah, I think somebody called in ahead of you on that one.
Okay.
She's waiting in the wings. But your question is a good one. It does get confusing. Micronutrients are vitamins and minerals, and the macronutrients are protein, carbohydrate, and fat. Carl, thank you so much for listening and contributing to the show. We appreciate you. Let's go to Largo, Florida. I've been to Largo many times. Barbara lives there. Barbara, welcome to the show. So of those that I mentioned, onions, garlic, carrots, or chives, which one is not an allium vegetable? Barbara. Wonder where she went. We'll come back to her. Stephen has her. So these allium vegetables, I mean, I just can't tell you. There's so much I can say to you about them. And you consume them as much as you want. They are the benefits. The research is. I was looking today and looking at all the different studies. We talk about garlic on this show a lot. Kyolic aged garlic extract. That is one of the best dietary supplements, hands down, 100% full stop. That product is fabulous. I highly recommend it. and you can't eat enough raw garlic to match the amount what goes on with kyolic aged garlic extract. You just can't. Raw garlic, if you eat too much of it, can be very caustic, so you have to be careful. Let's go to Tampa. Tricia is in Tampa. Tricia, welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition.
Oh, hi. Thanks. Thank you.
Have you called before?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Okay. So, is it onions, garlic, carrots, or chives? Which one of those is not an allium vegetable?
Carrots.
Carrots, yes. It's beta. They're in a different category altogether. Then you have cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and so on. The different greens, collard greens, those fall into the cruciferous category. Those are powerful too. How would you describe your diet?
I eat pretty good. I eat pretty healthy. I exercise 7 days a week.
Oh, you do? Wow.
Yeah, not a big red meat eater at all, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say pretty good.
Pretty good. Pretty good is good enough. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Oh, we all are. I know.
Right.
It does get challenging, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Yeah, you have to have good willpower.
Yes, and stay on track. Once in a while, food is meant to be enjoyed. We shouldn't treat diet and nutrition like some forced march through the jungles of Burma in the heat of summer. It shouldn't be punishing. It should be fun.
Right.
We thank you for listening, and we thank you for calling in today. Congratulations, you won a $25 supplement gift card.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for your show. I listen every day. You are so inspiring. I appreciate you.
Oh, man. You made my day. Thank you so much.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Doctor. Thank
you, Tricia. All right. You people are too kind. You all are too good for me. I don't deserve that. We're just here. We're just a messenger trying to do the best we can. And, as I keep saying, we're all in it together. I've come to learn that, and I mean it. So I'll continue to do my best to do the best for you. That's why we do the show. We love you. Your health is your wealth, and your health is the wealth of those that care about and love you.
Everyone's raving about the newest botanical superstar hitting the store shelves nationwide. Hemp-derived